the list of people who have a lot of XRP. Are you one of the top 1%, the top 5% mate of 20? Would you have XRP hit around 25, 100, or 500? I'm going to tell you everything. It's really enjoyable. A lot of news has been coming out about XRP too. Let's start right away. So everyone in crypto should post to this. Where do you belong on this list? You don't need to answer these questions. Take a look at this. You need self-out on XRP for the top 2%, 15 non-XRP for 10,000 XRP for the top 4%, and 8370 XRP for the top 5% XRP users around the world. Let us find out how much this item is worth if XRP really does go as high as we get 8,000 XRP if you're in the top 5%. You'll have 200,000 XRP if it goes up to 25, with XRP worth 100 and 800,000. If XRP at $1,000, you'd have 8.3 million. Not bad. You could buy 12, 411 XRP for $300 XRP for 12 XRP or 1.2 million XRP for 100 XRP. It would cost 6.2 million for 500 and for the 1,000 if you're with $1,000. The richest 1% would have XRP worth $50,000. $20 are worth 1.5 million XRP. 100 is worth 5 million XRP. 25 million XRP are worth 500. Also, $1,000 worth 50 million XRP. This is what you'd see if you're in the top 2% or 3%. This money could make a big difference in many of our lives. That's what we all want to do. We do know some new things now, though. The first spot XRP ETF goes live tomorrow. It is true that trade in the Rex Osprey spot XRP ETF will start on September 12th. It will be a big day for the first spot XRP when it goes on sale tomorrow, 2025, fund in the United States. Let me go ahead and tell you more about this. The Rex Osprey ETF will not hold futures contracts, but XRP coins instead. Investors of all sizes will be able to use normal brokerage to get into the market that is regulated in this way. This kind of review process is allowed by the Investment Company Act of 1940, which is what the ETF is based on. This means that the fund has more legal freedom to offer exposure to crypto. This also lets other Rex Osprey coins like Dogecoin, Bonk Trump, and Bitcoin will be tied to ETFs that will launch at the same time as this new line of products. Effects on the market. With the launch of the ETF, more people should be able to trade in XRP, since they will no longer have to deal directly with crypto exchanges, but rather through their exchange brokerage accounts. Soon, anyone with any kind of stock account will be able to use XRP. To find out where your bank's XRP spot goods are and when they will be ready, call Have an Account with them and haven't seen any progress or work on them. The only thing is the XRP army that this company can use to sell these things. BlackRock made a Bitcoin Ethereum app because people asked them to. We need to do the same thing today. Many people believe that a lot of money will flow into XRP, like what happened with Bitcoin and Ether ETFs since XRP's ETF went live and now trades in the same way as Bitcoin and Ethereum spot ETFs in the US. Nate also says that the fact that the DTCC list the Fidelity Sol ETF and the Canary XXVR ETFs doesn't mean anything legally. The SEC is going to take the blame. A DTCC official said that before every new ETF goes on sale, they always add securities to the NSE security eligibility file. To be on the list doesn't mean anything about how things will turn out. But if you look at what the DTCCC is eager to pay in, you'll see that XRP and HBR are on the list. I agree with you, but I don't think they'll really pay with Bitcoin. This is Paul Barron talking to this person about the fourth industrial revolution, which will help the economy grow faster than inflation. If not, in the US, things will get worse and people will die. What does it all mean? Let me show you. People in the US, companies, banks, real estate agents, and everywhere else are used to getting loans for very little money, which is what's wrong, Paul. That's what caused price bubbles. Real estate is probably the biggest, right? We're taking on more and more debt. Most real experts believe that the growth of new technologies will lead to be faster than the rate of interest rate rise. In other words, people are becoming more interested. It's growing so fast that a big event like the fourth industrial revolution is needed to speed it up even more. We'll be stuck in a death circle if we don't do it. That's all there is to it at this point. At this point, there's no way around it. What will happen if things badly go wrong in the US? Things would go very badly. How much interest the government pays on its loans, it goes up really fast. Things keep getting worse with deficits. People who buy government bonds lose faith in the government. So the government has to borrow even more money to pay the interest. This makes interest rates go up very quickly. The business stay the same and government services get cut back. It's not easy, but there are ways out. Most of the time, tighter budgets and less debt are the key. But nobody does anything. Make the financial markets more likely to crash and lose trust. We're in charge of how much money we spend. We have more money now than we did in 2024, which is 2025. I understand, but those are the facts. I don't know, man. All of this is making things very hard for U.S. business. Paying off our debt costs us more than $1 trillion a year. Taxes don't bring in even $5 trillion every year. That means we pay interest on 20% of what we get. Things are going to get worse. Based on what I've seen, our debt could grow by another $20 trillion in the next 10 years. In the end, everything will go wrong. Major effects, interest rates go through the roof. And the government may have to spend a lot of money every year on interest, cutting back on social services to pay for security and building up the country, right? It will be a while before we can improve our roads, hospitals, and other services because we won't have enough money. Investors' faith in the market drops. It's already clear that the countries with the most U.S. debt are Japan, China, and the U.K. They don't want to buy any more U.S. debt. Why does the U.S. market for cryptocurrencies matter so much? Even when there isn't a crypto market, stable coins are often backed by U.S. funds. The U.S. dollar would be falling even faster right now. There is a risk to the economy and inflation if the debt is kept up. The government might print more money. which could cause prices to rise very quickly and the value of the dollar to drop. If you keep all of your money in the bank, the dollar will lose value over time. This means that the things you can buy will also become less valuable. During the 5 years, every year since 2020, the dollar has lost 25% of its value. Just picture what things will be like in a few or 10 years. A lot of people are excited about the new Gemini credit card that has XRP on it. They want to get to this. Why? Get 4% back on gas, EVs, and transportation. Get 3% back when you eat out, 2% back when you buy food, and 1% back on everything else. That's right, you can swipe the card and start getting XRP. This is what your card will look like with your name on it. Taking that path lets you spend money and earn XRP. Look at the things you buy often. You can save XRP for the first time today. If you spend a certain amount of money in the first 3 months with the Gemini Edition XRP credit card, you can get an extra 200 XRP. More about this and the fact that there is no annual fee will be given below. That's all there is to it. You can use this MasterCard World Elite card anywhere. You can use MasterCard. Also on the page is information about that there is a credit card that can help you get more XRP. Rewards earned with the Gemini credit card and saved for at least a year have become 42% more valuable than rewards earned with other credit cards. Gemini also works with a lot of other space companies. You can get up to 10% back on some of the biggest names on the